guys yesterday during the watch along, and obviously in the comment section below. Get your yeses in the chat, people. Let's get some shout outs done. Big up Slicky, big up DJ Christopher. We got Quinny in the building. AU, Letty, Harris is here. Mintan, yes, Marshy Boy, Ronald, SK, Daddy's Daddy is here. Big up to Pulmer, big up to RGS, Dunican, big up JSN. We got AM, Ben, Sam, Robert's here as well. Big up, guys. Make sure you are smashing the like button if you've not done so already. Super helps the channel grow. We've got over 100 people tuned in already. Let's get those likes past 50 likes, guys. Need 6 people to hit the thumbs up button to get us past 50 likes. And make sure you are subscribing to Nobbins as well. Link is in the description. Congratulations on 10K, Bray.
Ooh, yes, thank you very much.
We're both there now, man. We're both there.
Yeah, we out here. Yeah, we're doing bits, you know.
We are doing
bits. On the rise.
Elbins to the moon, man. Invest in the stonks now, guys. I'm telling you, 10 times return. Which is funny enough. That's 100K, isn't it? You know what I mean?
There you go.
So we will be there.
Invest now.
Invest now in Elbins.
Join the hive now.
Yeah. You've not been well, bro.
No, yes. So apologies to the chat. I've not been over the last show or two. I've had flu and now I have a chest infection. So apologies for that. Apologies if I sound like shite. But yeah, but we're here now. I'm feeling better now. So, you know.
There we are. Big up to everyone in the chat, man. Hopefully you're all doing well this morning. Or this evening, depending on where you are in the world. Yeah, player ratings. As always, I like to get Nobbins' thoughts on the game yesterday. What's your sort of take on it, bro?
Yeah, I mean, so it was obviously a little bit weird to analyze because it is a dead rubber. You know, like the game was essentially meaningless from a sort of a group perspective. Like everyone in our group had to finish where they were, no matter what the results were. And even in the past, we've seen that Pep's played very, very strong teams for these games. Like was it like the RB Leipzig game a few seasons ago where like Walker got a stupid red card and then that actually did impact us quite badly, or was that a different game? I can't remember. I think that was the case though.
Yeah, that's right. It was Club Brugge, wasn't it? Club Brugge.
Yeah, I think you might be right. And then you got a straight red, and then you missed like the first leg of the a quarter final. What was it or something? And that really impacted us. Very frustrating. So it was good to see the likes of Hamilton get his full debut and Bob get a full start. And even Gomez as well. I know some senior players had to start, like Stones, for example, but, Phillips as well, he's going, we know he's probably going to be leaving in January. Why not give him a game? And as I'm sure we'll discuss the goals later, why not be nice? And why not give him the penalty? Because it might be his last game in a City shirt. So yeah, I thought that the squad was actually used properly for once by Pep in these dead rubbers, as I say, because normally he plays too strong a team. So I say it was really, especially for Hamilton, who did a Rico Lewis and scored on his Champions League debut.
Yeah, sick goal as well.
Yeah, no, amazing.
Last night was I genuinely super happy with the performance, man. And obviously, when I say that, I'm talking relatively to the team that was on the pitch. Obviously, if you compare that performance to maybe when you've got the full squad out with Kevin De Bruyne and everything, obviously probably not. But considering the players that played yesterday, because basically what I was expecting yesterday is slow, misplaced passes, lethargic performance, no cutting edge at the final third, just generally dead performance. I actually thought we got the opposite. I thought we played with a relative high intensity in our play. When we got the ball forward, we actually tried to make stuff happen. The midfield looked actually quite good in terms of the way that they kept the ball, moved the ball around. We'll go into individual performances in a minute. Defensively, still got issues, but we know that's still an issue. And obviously, one of the goals was Sergio Gomez doing a madness. The goalkeeper, maybe bar the kick for the first goal, was absolutely fantastic. I thought his kick in yesterday, bar that one kick, ironically, was incredible. So I thought it was super good, man. It was a super refreshing football match. We won the game. Not an easy place to go and win, by the way. I think that's been completely overlooked by some fans that go into Belgrade. That is not an easy stadium to go and play in with the atmosphere. To go there with the team that we did and get a win, even though it meant nothing, I think that's super good. And also, even though it didn't mean anything, as I said yesterday during the watch along, guys, we're starving for wins at the moment. It's not like we can pick and choose. You know what I mean? We just have a 4-match winless run. So I think we've got back-to-back wins now. It's the first time we got back-to-back wins, I think, since October, sometime in October.
Wow.
Madness. So that, for me, even though it didn't mean anything, we got another win. We got a winnable game against Palace in a couple of days' time at home. We win that, that's 3 in a row. Then we go to Saudi Arabia for the Club World Cup. Like I said, you can slowly start to see the momentum start to change. Then we're getting Kevin De Bruyne back. So it's super important that you go and get these wins, man. But yeah, listen, I was super happy with it. As RGS said there, only the second team in English history. Yeah. I couldn't believe that stat, bro. When I seen that stat last night, I was like, what? No way.
I know, yeah. It's Matt. Well, again, City normally go 5 for 5, and then they get to the last game, and then like the dead rubber, we seem to like either lose or draw. So yeah, it was very impressive. It's the first time we've done that. Yeah, it's brilliant, and it keeps our unbeaten streak in Europe going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right, we're going to get into the player ratings now, guys. As always, I want your thoughts in the comments section. If you're watching live, get your comments in, get your numbers in, your scores in the live chat. If you're watching back on replay, get your comments in down below. Make sure you have smashed the like button and subscribe to the channel and Nobbins, link in the description. Okay, let's kick off with Stefan Ortega then yesterday. Heat map, mint. Okay, so 90 minutes played, made a couple of saves, 4 saves, run outs, 5 out of 5, very good. 77 passes. Wow, that is mad. I've never seen a goalkeeper have 77 passes in a game before. That is very, very high. 81% passing accuracy, 24 long balls, 11 successful. That, to me, is a clear strategy from Pep Guardiola and the team yesterday to go long, because we don't normally have that many long balls. So a 50%, or just less than a 50% strike rate on that. 1 clearance, 1 ground duel, and 1 dribble attempt. Not sure what the dribble attempt's all about with the goalkeeper. But yeah, listen, I thought he played really, really good. I thought his distribution was pretty good. Unfortunately, what stops him from getting a really high score for me is that I don't think his kick for their first goal was particularly great. It kind of went into no man's land. Yes, maybe Phillips could have done better on the goal or whatever, but other than that, I thought he was good. I thought he made a couple decent stops. He made that mint save with his arm where he went like that. I think in the first half or whatever, and then he made another save just shortly after that. Made a couple of good saves yesterday. His kicking was all right. Yeah, and as I've said, Ortega for me is a very, very good backup, bro. I think we're very lucky to have him at the football.
Yeah. Definitely, he's one of, if not the best backup in the league, to be honest. Like, if you think of like what we've had in the past with Zach Steffen, where you watch him, it's like, right, well, there's going to be at least 1 mistake in this game, and often there was at least 3. He's so competent because it's not just shot stopping. It's very rare, I feel like, for a keeper to be both a good shot stopper and a good distributor with the ball as well. His playing out is actually really impressive. His composure is really impressive. I think we are very lucky to have him as a backup, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he's great. And I actually think that there's a lot of teams in the Premier League would take him as their number 1.
Definitely.
So
I reckon it's like it's probably better than at least half of them, maybe. Like he's a very good keeper, Ortega.
He is. And we got him on a free transfer.
Yeah.
From how much is worth now, bro?
Well, to a club like I don't know, like to sort of like a mid-table Premier League club. What I don't even know.
25, 25 mil.
Yeah, between like 20 and 30, probably. Yeah. Why not?
What a profit that is! Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, player rating for me, high, not super high, because I do think his kick for the goals, but that might be a bit harsh. I'm going to give him a good score though. I'm going to give him a 7.6, which is high for a goalkeeper for me.
No, yeah, that's fine. I'll give him a clean 7. As I say, just that slight error denying him closer to an 8 for me.
Yeah, very, very good performance. Big up to Stefan Ortega. I'm seeing quite a few 8s in the chat. Fairs, you want to go that high? He did make a couple of good saves. Difficult to argue. Okay, let's come on to Rico Lewis. Getting a start yesterday. That's his heat map. Pushed out on the right-hand side. Not as central as maybe we've seen him play previously, but that's, of course, because he's played a different position. He's actually gone back to right back, whereas previously he's been playing in the midfield. 90 minutes played in the game. Got 1 assist, 1 clearance, 1 interception. Got dribble pass once. Good succession on the ground duels. Won 7 out of 11. What else did he get? He got 97% pass accuracy. Only misplaced 2 passes in the whole game. 1 key pass. 2 long balls, both unsuccessful. 3 dribble attempts, though, all successful. Pretty good. I actually feel that Rico Lewis, he had a poor game, didn't he, back at Aston Villa? I know we got battered, but he really struggled in that game for physicality.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I don't think it was like a performance that people will remember for a long time, but it was a solid performance.
Yeah.
Didn't really make any errors that I can remember. Good on the ball, as you've seen there with his passing stats. Dribble attempts were good. Got an assist. Good performance. You got to say good performance, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, as we saw with the Luton game, it seems like we ditched the 3-2 formation for this game. We went back to a 4-2-3-1. So Rico, maybe for the first time in his City career, being asked to play as an actual just out and out right back. Have we ever seen a game where he's just played as a right back, like through and through? I don't think we have.
I don't think so either.
So I think that yeah, look at that heat map. So I think that points to, you know, the consistency in his game as well. As I say, like the first time he's played as a proper out and out right back. So yeah, he's just consistent outside the Aston Villa game, where again I thought on the ball he was all right, but as you say, off the ball he just wasn't ready to be thrown in against one of the best teams in the Premier League, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I agree. Rating for Rico, it's got to be in the 7s for me.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7.5, I think.
Yeah, I'll give him something similar to that. I'll give him something similar. He got an assist. I'm trying to think, like, because I give Ortega a 7.6, but he did make some big saves. But then Rico got the assist, so I'm gonna give him a 7.5. I think Ortega's big saves for me put him just a little bit above Rico, although it is always difficult comparing goalkeepers to outfield players for obvious reasons. Yeah, I'm seeing 7.8, 7.3. Everyone's got him in the 7s. That's sort of where we're at. John Stones. In fact, before we come on to his stats and stuff, what did you make of him starting yesterday, bro? Because for me, I wouldn't have started him yesterday. I wouldn't have risked him. I know some people said, no, LB, he needs to start. He needs to get minutes. But he did already play 90 minutes. He played, I think, 25 minutes in another game since he's come back from injury. He's going to play against Crystal Palace. Well, he should do, 100%. Do you think he needed to play last night? What was your take on seeing John Stones in the team lineup?
Yes, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because he didn't play, or he didn't start against Luton, did he? He came on late on, and he has only just come back from injury. So I'm assuming that it was a point of, well, he needs to actually get some like minutes. If there comes a point for a player coming back from injury where it's actually less beneficial to not play them. They actually need the minutes to get the rust away. Otherwise, they're actually more liable to become injured if they don't get that rust off them. So I've got to trust the medical team and like the people telling Pep who's fit and who isn't. I've got to trust that Stones is fit and that he needed in a similar way to. I know he then got injured, but when Stones came back from injury and then he played for England in those largely irrelevant games, that was good because it got Stones' fitness up. So I'm going to look on the bright side and hope that it was more of like a fitness gaining exercise rather than something which might aggravate an injury.
And would you start him against Palace as well?
I think you've got to, because Palace can be a very scary team. I think we've got to go like full strength for Palace. Basically, every single game from here on is must win until Arsenal and Liverpool drop more points. I think you've got to.
I agree 100%. Okay, then let's go through his stats. So that's his heat map from yesterday. So not pushing really into the midfield as maybe we've seen him. And when he did step into midfield, he starts sort of like an invisible line that he never went across. Whereas in previous games, we've seen him up here, further forward, much more closer to the opposition penalty area. Maybe he was told yesterday just to sort of chill out, you know what I mean? Get on the pitch, get some minutes into your legs, but don't go crazy sprinting around when it's not really necessary. He played 86 minutes in the game, made 1 clearance and also blocked 1 shot. He won 1 ground duel out of 3, but won both of his aerial duels. 91% pass accuracy, misplaced 6 passes in 66. That's decent. 3 long balls, 1 successful, and that's it for the stats. Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't really remember him doing too much. I don't know.
And that might be a good thing, to be fair, from your centre halves.
Yeah. Well, yes, we conceded 2 goals, so maybe not. But yeah, listen, I think you're probably right. I think it was probably about just getting minutes into his legs. let's not go crazy on the player rating. He didn't really do too much, but
No.
you know, like I say, passing accuracy good, passing accuracy high. Good to see him getting back to fitness. Hopefully, he's ready for Saturday. I'd probably give him like a 7 or something, 7.2.
Yeah, I'll give him a flat 7. I think that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Big old Saeed, man, in the chat says, you only beat a Serbian pub team.
Ooh. Red Star Belgrade, 1991 European Cup winners. That's who you're chatting to, mate.
Yeah, man.
So respect the mighty Red Star, yeah? They have more Champions Leagues than Arsenal. So we will respect the Serbian lads.
Facts, man. They're only 2 behind Man United, bro. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So come on, you know what I mean? Have respect. You know what I mean? I love Saeed, bro. He's so shameless. His team has been knocked out of the Champions League, with a group of Galatasaray and Copenhagen. And he comes in the chat and starts chatting on to us about Serbian pub team. What are you talking about, bro? Funny guy, man. Okay, let's come on to Manuel Akanji. This was one player that I did expect to play yesterday. Just because, with all due respect, he's spareable compared to some of the other players that we have. So that's his heat map in the game. 90 minutes played, 1 clearance, 1 block shot, got dribble pass once. He won 4 out of 5 ground duels, 95% pass accuracy. That's super good. Misplaced 3 long balls. So yeah, he only misplaced 1 short pass then, which is super impressive, and 1 dribble attempt. Would you just sort of say the same as John Stones? Just sort of like,
I was going to say, yes, that sounds a bit boring, but again, steady. I think same as Stones. Give him a cheeky little flat 7. Didn't do anything too wrong that I can really remember. Didn't do anything outrageous that I can remember. I think a 7's fine. I think a 7's fair. No big bozo moments. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. I'm going to give John Stones and Akanji the same rate, and I don't think either of them done anything spectacular, anything great, but neither of them did anything bad really either, to be honest. So yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, have we seen this guy play his last game for the football club? Sergio Gomez, brought in from Anderlecht for circa £11 million. We all got gassed when we watched his YouTube highlights and we've seen his stats and his assists. It's not really quite worked out the way that maybe he would have wanted. It was a gamble, probably not paid out. That's his heat map from yesterday. 90 minutes played, 1 interception. He won 1 out of 4 ground duels. He won 1 out of 2 aerial duels. Lost possession 8 times. 93% pass accuracy, which is good as well. He did make 2 key passes in the match and made 1 dribble attempt, which was successful. Yeah, your thoughts on Sergio Gomez? Yeah.
I don't think he's a left back. I think that Company at Anderlecht has sort of tricked the world into thinking that he is a defender, and I just don't see it. I think he's a good player going forwards. I like him when he gets into those positions. I particularly remember the derby last year at home where he got at least 1 assist. I thought he was fantastic. He's crossing in those positions. Yeah, he's crossing in those positions is really good. But then I remember the Champions League games last season where he featured, like one of which he got red cards against Copenhagen, I think. He's just a defensive liability. I don't think he's a left back. I think he's played one. And, before City, I'm pretty sure he played 1 season as a left back. Outside of that, like he plays left wing for Spain under 21s, doesn't he? So
bro, have you seen his? If you go on, I'll bring it up now. Have you ever seen his transfer market data?
Oh yeah, he's like everywhere. Like his positions, yeah. Like he's played on the right. He's played in midfield. He's played left wing. He's played left back.
I'm bring it up now, man.
In theory, that's like a nice idea. It's like, total football. He can play everywhere, but is it just a case of, not even not jack of all trades, certainly not master of one? Yeah.
Like, how often do you see something like that? He's played left back, right back, centre mid, left mid, right mid, attacking mid, left wing, right wing. The only 3 positions he's not played on the pitch is a striker, right, centre back, and goalkeeper.
Yeah. And as I say, I'm pretty sure for, like if we think about like when were his best performances, I mean, I didn't watch the under-21 World Cup, but didn't he get like the joint golden boot with Cole Palmer? Like he apparently played really well in that tournament. Pretty sure he was exclusively playing at left wing. And I see that his attacking and going forwards on the ball is actually quite good. Off the ball, ask him to do some defending, as we saw against Southampton in the League Cup last season. Just tragic, and he can't do it. So yeah, I'm just not convinced we've signed an actual left back here. I think that if Gomez is going to play, he should be playing at left wing, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, which is now not going to happen because we've got Doku. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I think it's probably his last game for the football club. The thing is, though, we all knew it was a gamble. You know, I remember when we signed him, and like David Ornstein come out and went, even though City have signed him, they still want another left back. I mean, that sort of
Yes.
told you everything that you needed to know. So yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
quite work out for him, but not entirely a. You know why, Karl? Because we were desperate for a left back because we just sold Zinchenko when we ballsed up the Cucurella deal. So we probably just thought, let's get this guy in. Yeah, let's get this guy in. It's 10 mil. It's nothing. It's no money for a club like City. And if it doesn't work out, we can loan him out or whatever. And you know, worst case scenario, what we're selling for 6 or 7 million. You know, you lost what 3 million. It was worth the gamble. For me yesterday, yeah, didn't really see too much. I thought on the ball going forward, we didn't really see a great deal, and obviously defending that goal for the corner. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I'm almost lost for words. So yeah, not particularly great. Probably his last game. I'll give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt because it's his last game, but I'll probably give him a 5. Man, I didn't think he was particularly great.
No, yeah, I won't be as harsh. I'll give him like a 6, but yeah, I think that he's either got to go out on loan somewhere because, or actually, I don't even know. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's just a case of selling because if he's never going to be that guy at left back, especially when we've got Ake and Gvardiol. He's never really going to be that guy at left wing with Grealish, Doc, especially if we sign another winger who can play both sides. Don't really see where he fits into the team. And it's a shame because he's a City fan, isn't he? So it's a shame.
Yeah, you know what I'd probably do? I'd probably loan him out to a team that wants to play him as a winger. Because if he goes to a place and does well as a winger and gets 10, 15 goals, probably his price will be a lot more than 10 million in this market. You know, we're probably looking towards a 20, 30 million mark if he gets 10 to 15 goals in a top league, La Liga, Bundesliga, Premier League.
Who is Girona's left winger?
Savio.
Is he a very good player?
Savio is a very good player. Yeah.
Oh, what a shame. I was going to say if Sergio Gomez could start there. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, he's he was on. He wants to come City, innit, Savio? You seen that? He wants to come.
Oh no,
City.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Well,
did you not watch the Girona versus Barcelona game the other night? It was fucking unreal.
I saw you watch it for a few minutes, though. I came in, called you a fraud.
Oh, you did? Yeah, bro. It was a mad game, man. It was a mad game. But yeah, that Savio, he wants to come City. I mean, he did an interview last week, I think it was. I think it was before the Barca game or after the Barca game, and he said he wants to join Man City, he wants to work for Pep Guardiola. So, and he's pretty good actually. He's a pretty good player. He's got some decent numbers. I still think he needs a little bit of coaching, Savio at Girona, but good player. I want that Miguel left back more. Anyway, let's move it on from one player who might have played his last game for the football club to another player that might have played his last game for the football club, Calvin Phillips. Well, that's his heat map from yesterday. 90 minutes played in the game. Got a goal. Love to see that. 90% passing accuracy. 1 key pass. 2 long balls. 1 successful. 1 shot on target. 1 shot off target. 1 dribble attempt unsuccessful. He won 5 out of 8 ground duels. He won 3 out of 6 aerial duels. Got a couple fouls there. Made a couple fouls and got a couple fouls as well. 1 clearance. And that's basically it for Calvin Phillips. Thoughts on Calvin Phillips, and maybe expand on maybe why has it not worked at Manchester City in your opinion, bro?
Yeah, to be fair, I think that game basically like summarized it. He's just simply, it sounds really mean to say, he's just not good enough to be a City 6. He's too slow in body and mind. His actions aren't quick enough. He doesn't know what he's going to do next, I think, is the problem. He doesn't know what he's going to do before he does it, which sounds weird, but you sort of need to have a very quick brain to be a City midfielder, I think, especially in that sort of Rodri position. Rodri picks up the ball. He already knows the exact layout of the pitch. He already knows exactly what he's going to do and how he needs to act accordingly. Whereas Phillips seems to get the ball and then it's almost like deer in the headlights. And he's like, oh gosh, I haven't already planned what I need to do here. Now I need to think about it on the fly. And then whilst that's happening, he's being closed down. And that might only take like, a half second in your brain. But that half second at this level, when you're being pressed in the midfield, it makes all the difference. And that's why Rodri's, he can turn seconds into minutes because he's already got that time. Whereas Phillips, it seems to be the exact opposite. So I do put a bit of that down to the burnout from playing Bielsa's football for however many years. But it also just seemed to be like a mental attribute if he just can't seem to do it. I think he needs a slower pace of game or a situation where it's more protected. That's why I think these Italy links are quite good, because the Italian league in general is a much slower league than the Premier League. I think he could actually do a pretty good job at, I think it's Juventus where he's being linked to most closely. I think Juventus would actually be quite a good fit for him, as I say, that Serie A where it's a little bit slower for him. And as I say, it's a shame it didn't work out. I wanted it to work out. He's an England player. I want England players to do well, especially under Pep. But he's had numerous opportunities, and obviously, he did get an injury at the start of his City career, and he's been in and out, so it is hard to build up rhythm. But he's never once had a good game for City, and that sounds really mean, but he hasn't ever had a good game for City. Against Bristol, maybe it was half all right last season, but if anyone can name me an actually really good performance by Phillips, then I'm all ears. I'm pretty sure every single time he's been given a chance, he's not given Pep any thoughts of, oh, maybe I could feature him in my team. So it's a shame. Lovely to get his goal. He seems like a very lovely, happy, nice man, but he's just not cut out to be a City player, and that's sad.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, this is the thing, and it's not the worst point from Kean, because I've kind of made this point. He says it's not fair to call him slow when he doesn't have the match sharpness. People need to play consistent and to be fast. So I think that you're kind of right. The question is, Kean, if he did play 5 or 6 games in a row, do you believe that he could be at the level? I still don't think he'd be at the level. I agree with with the point that you're making, in that you're never going to see the best of him unless he plays consistently. But I'm also kind of with Nobbins in the fact that I still don't think even if he did do that, he'd still be at the level. Now, that's me thinking about it, but that's obviously what we do. You know, everyone gives their opinions. But I also think that's why it's going to be difficult for us to get an out-and-out backup DM, because, you know, we could go get this Andre guy from Brazil, right, who looks like he can cover ground a lot quicker than Calvin Phillips. Looks like speed of his play would be a lot more suited to Manchester City than someone like Calvin Phillips. But he's going to have the same problem that Kean's making, Nobbins. If we get Andre, even though he looks quicker and looks like he can move the ball quicker and move around the pitch quicker than Calvin Phillips, if he's on the bench for a month because Rodri's playing every single game and then he's thrown into the deep end for a single match, is he going to be able to compete and look good? So
exactly,
listen, I think the DM position's tricky. It is a shot. I think the injury that he got against Barcelona in that, not meaningless because it was for charity, but you know what I mean? Like, I'll say strangely timed friendly, is probably what I'd say about it. Is really, really unfortunate. Could he have had a different career at Manchester City had he not got that injury? We'll never know. But it's a shame. And like Nobby says, I really want the guy to do well, man. Like, I really want him to do well because he's not done a Sancho. You know what I mean? This guy's for 18 months. You got to imagine, guys, this guy has got a dream move, almost a dream move to Manchester City, to work with the best coach in the world, to work for a team that wins trophies. And basically he's been told that he's just not good enough. Like, you've got to try and imagine how mentally tough that must be for someone to go through. Like, that's actually, when you deep it, it's pretty horrible. It's pretty not nice to think about. And he's stayed positive as much as he can. He's not gone sulking like Sancho. Pep's always praising him. Like, I think if there's any City fan out there, you don't have to rate the guy in terms of a footballer, you know what I mean? But if there's any City fan out there who doesn't want this guy to succeed, I think that's very disappointing. I really want him to go to Juventus or wherever and go and prove his worth. And hopefully go to the Euros and have a good Euros. And, you know, for City, we're probably going to loan him in January. I don't think we're going to sell him. If there's no obligation to buy, we want him to have a good loan so the City can recoup the money anyway. So hopefully it works out for him. Look, I don't think he was particularly great last night because I thought that, again, he just looked sluggish. But I've got to consider and take into the fact that he's playing under huge pressure because everyone knows he's going. And he got a good penalty, actually. It was a good penalty. I'll give him a 7.3. That's what I'll give him.
Yeah, I'll be kind because he did score a penalty. He did take it well, which, you know, a lot of our players can't do, seemingly. So I'll give him a 7. I think that's fine. Yes, just on your point briefly, this is why we need a 6 who can play 8 or an 8 who can play 6 rather than a 6. You know, even if you think of when we had like Fernandinho, who was our backup defensive midfielder, we didn't have an out-and-out backup. We had Delph, who was also playing as a 6. We had Gundogan, who was also playing as the 8. We like very briefly had Zinchenko, who was sort of like floating as a midfielder or a left back. You need a more versatile player if you're going to have just 1-6 to play every single game. And just on Keane's point, I see the thing about, it's maybe not fair to say he's slow because he's not getting the game time. The reason why I don't agree with that is because I've also watched him play for England when he's equally had no chance to get to match fitness and sharpness, and he plays well for England. Why? International football is much slower paced.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
So I don't think it's a match fitness issue, a sharpness issue. I think it's simply a pace of game issue.
Yeah. No. Okay. Big up Keane, man. Big up Keane.
Big up Keane.
Let's get the likes up, people. Over 300 people tuned in right now. We're about to get to the new YAYA TOURE. Get the likes up, man. Over 300 people tuned in. Let's get to 150 likes. We need 25 people out of 300. 25 people out of 300 to hit the thumbs up button. If you're on your phone, come out the live chat, whack like, come back in. Really does help support me on the channel, man. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're approaching 11,000 subscribers. Make sure you subscribe to Nobbins as well. Link in the description. More LB, second channel. Come on, guys. Make sure you subscribe to that one. Link is also in the description. Right. Let's go on to, we're almost at YAYA, guys. We're almost at YAYA. But we got to go to Kovacic first. That's his heat map yesterday. So very, very deep. Very deep. Almost like the DM of the team yesterday. If you go off the heat map anyway. 76 minutes played. 95% pass accuracy. Misplaced only 3 passes in the game. Made 1 key pass. 2 shots blocked. Bro, honestly, man, like, I'm getting to the point now when he has shots, I'm laughing as he's about to shoot, because I actually going to make a prediction. I don't think Kovacic will score a single goal this season, man. I'm because if he does, it'll be well funny as well.
I don't think that's too outrageous, to be fair. I mean, he's never been that guy, to be honest. Like, even at Luton, like, he was lining up these long shots. Like, bro, what? Stop it. Yeah. Stop. It's not on.
2 dribble attempts, 1 successful. He won 5 ground duels out of 9. And then a couple of other stats for you there, guys, for you to look at. Strikes the ball like Jake Paul. Yeah, he lined up for a shot yesterday from the edge of the box. And the way he took the shot, I was like, bro, well, you're meant to be a professional footballer. But on the ball, listen, I say the same thing every time. Kovacic, good signing, 25 million, squad rotational player. Games like yesterday, great. He shouldn't be starting the big games for us because I don't think he's quite good enough. Never really loses the ball, so that's really good. Yeah, I think standard sort of performance. I don't think you're ever going to get a 10 out of 10 performance from Kovacic because he's never going to do anything really in the final third to warrant that. But I think he's always going to be hovering around the 6 to the 7.5 range. Like, what did you think of Kovacic?
Yeah. Well, I thought that he played really well against Luton as well in that more sort of like conventional double pivot alongside Rodri. He gave him a lot of protection, and I thought he played all right against Red Star as well. Yeah, again, steady, solid. It had a very good start to his City career, then sort of dipped a little bit, mainly when Rodri left. Never sort of really got back to those levels, and now maybe seems to have rediscovered them when we've got, as I say, gone back to a more standard double pivot. So because it's obviously a system which he's more familiar with, playing alongside a more regular player as opposed to doing this sort of 3-2 situation that City do. So maybe that's helped his recent performances out as well. Look, at his absolute best, what is Kovacic? I think that he is a good player who can provide a decent amount of support and protection to Rodri. That's what I think he is. As you mentioned, if we've got a fully fit side, I don't want him in the team. I don't want him in the starting 11. But rotation, if the game's won, you just want to be a bit more defensively solid. That's when you bring him on. And as you say, like rotation for cups, rotation for lesser games. And he's still a good player relative to price. He's a fine player, I think. He was never going to be a Gundogan replacement, but I think it's good to have in the squad.
Yeah. Facts. I'm going to give him a 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 6.7.
Cool. Right. Are we at the main event? Are we at the main event? Yeah, I think
the man you've been calling for the next YAYA, is that right?
Here we go. Yeah. NUNES. I'm telling you, man. The guys are next YAYA TOURE. See you yesterday. Right, okay. Here we go. That's his heat map from yesterday. So mainly out on that right-hand side. 82 minutes played, 1 assist, 94% pass accuracy, misplaced only 3 passes in the game, 1 key pass, 2 crosses, both unsuccessful. 1 shot off target, 2 dribble attempts, 1 successful. 10 ground duels, 7 of them won. 1 aerial duel, didn't win that. And 1 interception. So actually, stats, not really much going on there. But I'm seeing some people have been telling me, yeah, say LB NUNES could be special. Yesterday, I seen something that I really like, man. We've not had a player like that, yeah, that can drive forward for a long, long time. Like he can get the ball from so deep, and what he does, what he can do is, yeah, because obviously, you imagine we have players like Gundogan or Kovacic in the midfield, right? When we get the ball, we pass the ball. And the opposition, if they're playing a low block, they don't have to press the player because they're marking space or they're marking another player. So basically, Kovacic has got the ball. We're playing Brentford at home. They're sitting back. And Kovacic is looking for a pass and nothing's on. Nothing's on because everyone's being marked by the space. So you go sideways, you go backwards, and it's really difficult to break down. What NUNES can do differently is he can drive forward, which means that the opposition defenders or midfielders have to close him down, abandoning their position on the football pitch, meaning that there can be space for another player. Now, Bears, I do agree that he probably needs to work on his final decision making. But I seen a tweet yesterday and I thought it was really, really true. I think it was a tweet, might have been a comment in YouTube or whatever. I seen a comment yesterday. I thought it was really, really true. Even though he's 25, so he's not particularly young. He plays like a very young player. He plays like a player that's 22 that needs sort of molding and refining. Now, whether or not we can do that, whether or not Pep Guardiola can get that refining done and make that sort of decision making a little bit better, time will tell. But I really, really like what he could offer this team. I think him playing with Rodri could be a great combination. I think we're going to need to give him time. I think he's going to make mistakes on the ball. I think he's going to make mistakes maybe in dangerous areas because he likes to dribble it out from the back. But I think if we can give him enough game time and put enough trust in him, I do think there's a really good player in there. But yeah, I was super excited from yesterday. Obviously, the new YAYA TOURE is just a laugh in it. Don't kill me in it. I'm just joking around. But the way he did drive forward with it, it did remind me of YAYA at times. But yeah, what's your sort of takes on NUNES? Do you think that maybe he could be a player that City could utilise in the team?
Yeah, I think, to be fair, I've said whenever NUNES has been brought up that I've wanted Alvarez to be dropped for NUNES because we've seen that Rodri needs more legs in that midfield. We know that NUNES is a very leggy, limsy player who's able to cover a lot of ground. We've seen that. We already knew about it, but that was exemplified yesterday. His really good ball carrying abilities. There aren't many of our players who really do that to that sort of level. Like Phil's a very good ball carrier, but he can't really do it at the same pace as NUNES because his legs aren't as long. So So I'm really happy for him that like lots of people are now like coming around to the idea that he actually is a good player and that he's not like a waste of a signing or whatever. Yeah, I thought that I can, to be fair, I can see where the Toure suggestions are coming from. Certainly in terms of like the way he picks up the ball and just like runs with it, and the way it sort of like looks like when he gets moving, it's like, oh, you actually can't stop him because he is very stocky and he is very strong. Absolutely, he does need to work on like his more technical attributes, like passing, for example. Getting that final killer ball that will hopefully come, with time, with coaching, and with playing that position a bit more. But yeah, like I'm really happy at the idea of NUNES starting for City on a consistent basis. If you have Foden as the left central midfielder and NUNES as the right central midfielder, I think that gives the team a lot of balance, a lot of protection. It gives us more carrying. NUNES clearly prefers, playing more towards the right side. Phil prefers playing more towards the left side. I think that it makes a lot of sense, to be honest. And as I say, it means that when we inevitably lose the ball, instead of I'm not having to go at Alvarez because I love him, instead of having a striker there, means you've got a midfielder who is able to cover a lot of ground quickly and can get back to help support Rodri.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it could work. I think we should probably run it this weekend. I agree with Hayden in the chat who's just put, I think a midfield of Foden, Rodri, Nunes versus Palace would do wonders. I agree. I'd probably run that. I
Yeah.
think, like I say, I feel that like Doku, he's a bit raw and he needs refining. He needs to work on his technical ability and sort of decision making. But um, we need to give him the chance. We need to give him the chance to show it because, like I've always said, I think Nunes was a panic buy. I don't really understand why we signed him based off of the fact that we already had Kovacic. But I've also said I've always thought he's a good player. I've always thought there was a good player in there. It's just about how we utilize him. Yesterday, before the game, I said I want to see Nunes give me a good performance so I can actually try and understand, is there a future here for him? And he did that. I'm super excited seeing him. I think he could unlock a real weapon against low blocks where he can drive and create space rather than just passing it, which we do with some of our other players. I think super exciting. Not going to go crazy on the score, on the match rating. I'll probably give him I'll give him a 7.7. That'll be my match rating for Matheus Nunes. Really exciting player. I really like what I've seen yesterday. I'm not going to go crazy and put him in the 8s, but I do think I can get up there towards a 7.7. I thought it was good yesterday.
Yeah, I'll be cheeky and I'll give him a clean 8. I think because I did really like what I saw, and he obviously did get a goal contribution as well, didn't he? So I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8.
Yeah. Guys, get your score predictions in the live chat. If you're watching this back on the replay, guys, get me your thoughts down below. What do you think about Matheus Nunes? Really interested to see what you guys are saying. We've got Dodgy Currency with an 8.5. Douglas Wright with a 7.5. Musa a bit lower on a 7. Telsa with a 7.9. So a little bit of a difference there between the ratings. So I guess it depends on how you sort of viewed the game. But yeah, interesting. Okay, let's continue. Let's go to Jack Grealish before we come to Mika Hamilton, who scored the goal. He only played 45 minutes yesterday. 76% pass accuracy, but he didn't really have a lot of passes, so it's always a little bit skewed when you don't have that many passes. 3 crosses, all unsuccessful. 2 long balls, 1 successful. 1 dribble attempt, 1 successful. 4 ground duels, 2 successful. And got 1 foul against him. Yeah, took quite a big foul at one point, didn't he? And I think that's basically why he had to go off. Always a bit difficult giving a score for a player that only played 45 minutes. So what was your general sort of thoughts on Grealish, and where do you think he needs to sort of go from here in terms of his level, his performance? Because obviously he's got Doku competing with him for a space. So there's a lot of people that prefer Doku because of how quick he is and just more generally how exciting. But you've also got the staunch Grealish defenders that say Grealish brings something to our team that people do not appreciate. What's your sort of views at the moment on Grealish, bro?
Yeah, I'm one of those. I'm a big Grealish defender. I think it's a bit harsh to judge him because for a player like Grealish, compared to, let's say, his wide player counterpart like Hamilton, it is night and day. Like, this game was everything for Hamilton. This game's like basically not nothing for Grealish, but you know what I mean. It's largely irrelevant for him. I think he's been fantastic in the last 2 games, especially where he's actually got consecutive goals as well against Luton and Spurs. So, and he didn't play. Yeah, I don't think he didn't feature against Villa, did he? Because he got suspended. Yeah, it's a hard one to judge because I think that he got clattered around the 20th minute, and then he seemed to be a bit quiet after that, if memory serves. So I think that he basically got that massive boot, and he was like, right, well, I'm just going to chill out for a bit because I don't want to get injured again. So yeah, I think it's a hard one to judge. Probably give him like a 6 just based on the fact that he barely had like any opportunity to get into the game due to the foul and then due to being taken off.
Yeah, I agree. It's always difficult to give him player ratings to players that only play 45 minutes or less. But yeah, no, he got took out, and that sort of impacted his game. But
I don't think sorry, I was just because I don't think it's the game to try and judge Grealish by. I think next game, let's actually see where he's at.
Yeah, and providing he's not majorly injured, which I don't think he was, he'll probably start against Crystal Palace. What I'm going to do before we go on to like the other players, I'm just going to do Foden because obviously he played in, he come off the bench, didn't play in the same position as Grealish, but he come off the bench. So we'll go do Phil Foden now, and then we'll come on to the rest of the players. That's his heat map. 45 minutes played. 87% pass accuracy, 1 shot off target, 1 ground duel won, 1 aerial duel unsuccessful. Are we about to see Pep Guardiola start playing Foden in the middle, bro? Because he's played there a couple of times. Recently, over the last month or so, we have seen him drift in there. You know, Pep Guardiola may be abandoning this whole right wing inverted thing. Do you think that maybe Pep is starting to trust Foden a little bit more in that space, or you think we're still dreaming?
You better add, because he's played out and out midfield like 10 games this season. I believe the Luton game was the 10th one, the 9th or 10th one. Every single one of those games we've won. And in every single one of those games, Foden has been either the best player on the pitch or the second or third best player on the pitch. If you think of that, that 4-game run where we didn't get a win, Foden didn't play in the midfield in any of those games when he really should have done in at least one of them. The data points to he should do it. That the fact that he's a midfielder points to the fact that he should do it. The fact that, like, hopefully now that there's maybe more trust in NUNES to play midfield to support Foden suggests that he should do it. For me, there is no logic to not playing him in the middle. I don't really understand what the counter argument is. Like, I think he's been our best player this season, Foden, and I think his best performances have come in the middle this season. Play your best player or your best performing player this season, where he is at his best, where he's able to influence the game the most. Against Aston Villa, very good example. Literally nothing happened in our midfield, no penetration or thrust, because we had no offensive presence there in the midfield, and you're shoving Foden out to the left. And the one good bit of good play in the game actually came from Foden down the left, but he can't work miracles all the time. So I don't know what counter argument might exist. If someone wants to provide one in the comments, I'd be very interested to hear it. I can't think of why you wouldn't just play him in the middle. I don't get what the counter is.
No, I agree. I'm with you. Yeah, I'd probably give him like 6.5, something like that. I think it was a bit better than Grealish, but nothing serious. Okay, let's come on to this guy. Wow, what a debut from Mika Hamilton, mate. Starts the game. Don't really know what to expect out on that right-hand side. He said after the match he's not really used to playing right wing, but you wouldn't have thought that. So obviously heat map there. First half out on that right, second half out on the left. 90 minutes played, got the goal, fantastic goal. Let's be real. We're not just gassing this up because it's his debut. It was a fantastic goal. The way he dropped the shoulder and then just blasted it up to the roof of the net. Fantastic finish. 93% passing accuracy, 1 key pass, 1 long ball successful, 1 shot on target, 1 shot off target, 5 dribble attempts non-successful apparently. He did win a penalty as well, so a goal and a penalty won. He only won 1 out of 7 ground duels. 1 aerial duel not successful, and there was offside twice. Bro, I was very interested to hear your take on this one when we started the stream this morning. I thought that it looked super exciting player. As you'd expect, looks maybe physically not quite there, but obviously it's his first senior game, so that's obviously just standard. That'll come with time, as you've seen this with Rico Lewis. Is obviously you get playing more and more and more, you get used to the physicality. Beautiful goal, actually really, really, really good goal. Won the penalty, which was a penalty, by the way. People say he went down. I seen Jamie Carragher saying he dived. He didn't dive. It was one of them situations where he was fouled, and the only way that you get penalties these days is when you're fouled is if you go to the ground. Because obviously, if he just stands there and turns around, referee, just grab me, stop me. Referee's never going to penalty that. So you have to go to ground. That's not his fault. That's the referee's fault for not giving penalties when players are fouled and don't have to go to ground. So done really well, winning the penalty. Done really well on the finish. And I'm excited to see his development. Who knows where he can be? Is he going to be good enough to be a Manchester City player in the future? Who knows? Who cares? The good news, another player that looks fantastic. Playing Champions League, gets a goal, and for him now, he's in that spot where he's going to be so hungry, man. he's going to be so hungry to get back into this first team. I always think it's difficult when you're in this sort of spot. I think Oscar Bob suffers from this a little bit as well, where you're not with the academy, but you're not playing fully with the first team. Obviously, I think Mika Hamilton will still play with the academy, but he just needs to keep his head down, keep focusing, keep working. And when he gets the chances, perform. And he did that yesterday, man. So what's your take on Hamilton yesterday?
Yeah, well, his goal was like very reminiscent of Rico Lewis's, debut Champions League goal from last season as well. Like when he lifted it into the net, it was obviously fantastic for a kid who's been with City since like the under-9s to get his goal on his debut in a Champions League game. It's like it's a wonderful story for him. He said he wasn't familiar with playing on the right as much. I'm a bit of an ignorant when it comes to our academy, so I don't know where his best position is. I messaged you. You said he can play on either wing, really. So I'm guessing he's more of a left-sided player than a right-sided. But good to see that didn't phase him, and he still went for it, and indeed he still got his goal. Yeah, he's 20, so whether he's going to become, City starting quality, you have to be a bit of a late bloomer. But there's no reason why it can't happen. If it doesn't happen, I mean, to be fair, just from a sort of financial perspective, with that goal, he's probably added like 10 to 20 million to his price tag. That's for sure. But yeah, it was just amazing that at one point, I'm sure we had like half our outfield players were like academy players, I think, which is just a huge testament to the CFA and to our academy. And yeah, it's just a lovely, fantastic story. And it goes to what I said at the start. It was just really nice to see Pep actually playing the youngsters and plays in minutes like Lewis, Hamilton, Bob. It was just really nice. And then, as I say, Foden came on, and then another player came on whose name evades me. I can't recall what he's called. I believe it begins with an S. Can I find it? Sissoko? Is that how you pronounce it? That's the one. Yeah. So, yeah, really nice for him. And I saw his interview after. Just seems like a really genuine, honest, humble young lad. Yeah, fantastic for him. I hope that he can somehow get some minutes into the side if he's a really malleable, versatile player and he's able to put in performances like that, then he will get some more minutes throughout the season. And the future's bright for him, whether it's a City or not.
Yeah, I think on the late blooming thing, I'm pretty sure he had a major injury.
Oh, okay.
I'm maybe someone in the chat can let me know, but I'm pretty sure that he had an injury that kept him out for a long period, which might explain. That might be cap, but I feel like that is definitely true. I feel like I'm 100%, not 100%. I'm like 99% sure that he missed like a full season almost with like a leg break or like a fucking ACL or some shit like that. Here we go. Yeah, last season he missed. He didn't play a game till end of February, March. So he basically missed 2/3 of the whole season last year. So that's probably why maybe he's a late bloomer in terms of his age. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he gets on. But I'm really looking forward to seeing him develop. Let's see how he gets on. I think he looks like a player that could play potentially anywhere across the front line. Maybe striker, I'm not 100% sure, but he certainly looked good both on the right wing and the left wing yesterday. The way he cut in on that left-hand side looked really good. He probably should have had another. I reckon he'd probably be a bit annoyed with himself that he didn't get another goal because he cut off the left-hand side. And he tried to, he's obviously, I assume he's right-footed. He tried to whip it in the bottom corner. I think he'll probably look at that and go, I should have done better there. So he probably could have had 2 goals. But super impressive debut for him. He's going to be buzzing. Big up Mika Hamilton. I'm going to give him a good score. I'm going to give him 8.1.
Yeah. I want to give him man of the match as well. I'll give him an 8.1 as well because I gave Nunes an 8.
Yeah. Big performance from Mika Hamilton. It'll be exciting to see how he develops. Okay. Let's come on to Oscar Bob. Played out on the right-hand side, played in the middle as well at times. Bit of different positions for him. 90 minutes played, got a goal. What a goal, mate. And Cara Bob. Unbelievable. Shots on target 1, shots blocked 1, 2 dribbles, 1 successful. 98% pass accuracy. Pep will love that, won't he? Pep's going to absolutely love that. Only 1 misplaced pass in the game. 1 key pass, 7 ground duels, 4 of them won. 2 aerial duels, neither of them won. That's not really too surprising. He's not the biggest guy in the world. Got fouled 3 times. I mean, what a goal, bro. Let's speak about the goal first of all. That is beautiful. The way he twisted and turned that guy and then just dropped his left shoulder to be able to get the ball in the corner. I mean, beautiful finish.
No, yeah, it was just like he was playing the goal. He was playing the game in slow motion, like he just knew exactly what he was going to do before he did it. Reminiscent of you wouldn't think he's playing in the Champions League. You think he's like back at the under-21s tournament playing against under-21 players, like the way he was able to manipulate everyone and just like, yeah, fantastic. We've got a very special player, I think, in Oscar Bob.
Yeah, I think he's a great player. I always think he's better in the middle because I think he's got the brain for it. You know what I mean? I think out on the he's not to say he's not a good right winger. I think he can play right wing, but I just think he's so intelligent. I think his intelligence is almost not like in a bad way, but his intelligence is almost a better level than his ability. And and then sometimes you see players who are like really good on the ball, really technical players, but when they get to the final third, just like rubbish. In fact, we've seen that with a couple of players when we did the watch along for Al Ittihad the other day against Auckland FC. Some of the Al Ittihad players, really, really good technically, but as soon as they got to the penalty area, didn't know what they're doing. Oscar Bob is very good technically, but I think his football IQ is just super, super high. And for me, I prefer when you've got a super high IQ player, I prefer to put him in the middle because that's the most dangerous area. So yeah, he was great last night. Was he better than Micah Hamilton? I don't know. I don't think there was much in it. I'll probably give Oscar Bob an 8, which means for me, Micah Hamilton gets man of the match. I don't think Matheus Nunes and Oscar Bob are too far behind, but I'll probably give Oscar Bob an 8, which means Micah Hamilton is my man of the match. But yeah, where you going to put Oscar Bob, bro?
Yeah, I think an 8's fine. Yeah, well, I'll give Hamilton man of the match, and I agree with your point about the intelligence. I don't know how many games Bob's played this season, but already he's played all 4 forward positions on the pitch this season. Like he played right wing when he came on for his first game. He played centrally against Newcastle. He played as a striker yesterday, and he came on at left wing against Aston Villa. So he's a very versatile player who can play on the right, left, central midfield, and it seems at striker as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh, there you go. He's missed two seasons. That was So he's 20, but he's more like an 18-year-old, basically.
It's essentially, yeah, like Gav says here, he's got a lot. I don't know if Gav's watching him. I assume he's watching, otherwise that's a weirdly timed tweet. Yeah, you're right. He's basically he's at the level of an 18-year-old, so he's got a lot of catching up to do. If he's got the natural talent, then it'll work, which he looks like he probably does have. He looks like a fantastic player. But of course, yeah, he's got to hit the ground running, and he's probably under slightly more pressure than some of the other players because like it is, he's 20 years old. So let's see how he gets on. Like I say, he's in that weird spot of maybe training with the first team, playing with the academy. I always say this, but I always think that when you're between 18 and 21, I think it's probably one of the hardest times of your career, unless like you're a Musiala or a Foden where you're just playing for the first team anyway. It's always difficult because like I say, you're training with the first team. You might be playing with the academy, which that's always can be difficult. You might not be playing with the academy, so you might be too good to play for the academy, or the manager respects you too much and wants you with the first team, but you're not quite good enough, or you're not quite trusted enough to play for the first team. So then you just never really play. Really difficult period, but it's a period where you probably have to work the hardest. Because if you can work the hardest, you can get in there, get that chance and take it, which he did last night. Oscar Bob's been doing. You have a chance of making it, but yeah, I mean, the future is certainly bright. I mean, these CFA players, guys, that are coming through the academy, I mean, it's just absolutely insane. The amount of talent that we've got there. I mean, you've got Foden, you've got Oscar Bob, you've got Micah Hamilton, who scored last night. You've got Joel Ndala, who's a few years away, but he looks a super exciting prospect. You got Obwaldu, I can never pronounce his name, but I really like him. And there's a lot of other players in that academy. I mean, I watched the game yesterday, the academy game against Leipzig, drew 2-2. And yeah, there's some talent there, man. There is certainly some talent there. So, and every single player is coming through at the moment. When they sold, other than Mabude, who went on the cheap for some reason, they're going for cash. Kane Taylor, another one, looks a real exciting player. So yeah, this academy, and you know what's kind of crazy is that when we were bought, the owners said this would happen. The owners said this would happen. They said, we're going to make this facility of excellence, or whatever the fucking they called it, yeah? And they said, this academy is going to be, because they said they want to be a sustainable football club. And they always said this spending that we was doing at the beginning, it was never going to last forever. And the academy was going to do it. And they were right. And whilst people used to slag us off for spending all that dough in the early days, right? They said, well, as soon as this academy gets through, we're going to be sustainable. And we are, because now we get an academy product coming through that can play. And the ones that can't play are being sold for heavy cash because they're so good. And we reinvest in that into the team. So the academy is just a cash-making facility. It's, it's producing us talent. So, great stuff, man. Great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there was people saying Alfie Harrison. Is that the centre-half who signed from Man United's academy? I think it may be.
No, you're on about.
Who am I on about? Parker? I don't know what his name is.
Parker. Yeah, you're on about Parker.
Right. So Parker, he was at United's academy, now at ours, and the tables have turned because if you think about like what United were when they were at like full force, they were obviously the team on top in the country, so they could poach other people's academies and they could do whatever they wanted. Ryan Giggs was a Man City academy player, and United said, we'll have him, and obviously goes on to become a Manchester United legend. And now you look at United's academy in relative terms compared to what they were producing, is very minimal, whereas City's, not only are we producing more and better, because we've got our pick of the better players, because a young player would rather come to a City academy than a United academy in 2023. We're also able to cherry pick United's academy players if we want to. Even like Cole Palmer, a Man United fan, came to the Man City academy. So it's just good to see how the tables have turned.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That Parker looks very good on the ball. He looks like a City player. I've only seen him a couple of times because obviously he's not been in long, but he looks like a player that potentially could do bits in the future. And United offered him the most money they've ever offered an academy player to stay, and he still turned it down, according to the rumours. So that tells you a little bit about that. But yeah, listen, the academy's cooking, City are cooking. 6 wins out of 6. Only the second team to ever do that. The first English team ever to win 8 games in a row in the Champions League, which obviously goes back to last season. It's carried on from last season, but the first team ever to do that, which is kind of a madness. And the Champions League draw will be on Monday. So let's see who we get. Just quickly, any favourites that you want to get? Anyone that you want to avoid?
I want to avoid Inter. I want to get PSG.
You want to get PSG. So
my thoughts on PSG.
So you could have Porto, you could have PSV Eindhoven, you could have Copenhagen.
Porto. I don't want Copenhagen. I wouldn't mind Porto because I don't like Porto, to be fair. I don't like PSG either. I want PSG. They're rubbish. They're dog shit, man. We will humble, embarrass, annihilate them. And I don't care. That's what's going to happen. Just don't give me Inter. I'm scared of Inter.
Okay. There you go. Guys, hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, smash a like on the stream. Let's have a look at the likes, man. Where we at? We've got 300 people tuned in. We're close to 200 likes, guys. We're 18 likes away. 18 people. That was 300. Please hit that thumbs up button. It means a lot to me if we can get to 200 likes. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. You can find Nobbins' channel. Are you doing a tactical review on this, or?
Not on this one, just because it was a dead rubber. But guys, if you want, a review of like the recent Luton game and why Rodri might be more important to our attack than you think, go check out the most recent tactical analysis video, and there will be one on the Crystal Palace game when that's played this weekend.
Yeah, guys, go and check it out, man. Why Rodri is vital to Manchester City's attack. Go check it out. El Nobbins, link in the description. Go and watch it, man. You need to go and watch it to become tactical geniuses. Link is in the description. Guys, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.